Aloha and welcome to part 2 of Mega Man 10. We are now playing as Proto Man, and that's what he looks like on the stage select screen in case you were curious. And we're gonna go in weakness chronological order because hard mode is still pretty goddamn hard, and I don't want to die over and over and over again. I love that whistle. Every time you start a stage with Proto Man, his whistle plays, and I think it's the most badass thing ever. Booyah! As is that shield. As you can see, I took out Poppin' Fresh Joe there, or whatever the fuck his name is, with Proto Man's Proto Shield. When he jumps, he sticks out his shield, and he can deflect enemy attacks. So, you know, Goomba Joe, or whatever the fuck his name is, shoots his little bullets at you. You just jump in front of him, the shield will reflect the bullets, and hit the Joe back at him. Hit the bullets back at the Joe, and he will fuck him up. So I love that. That's awesome. Anywho, now we're at Pump Man, and Pump Man is a wastewater treatment plant purification robot. He looks a little old, but he can control water at will and launch high-powered water projectiles. He is quite a clean freak, so it is no wonder that he volunteers his time to blast away graffiti from neighborhood walls. Yeah. All my friends got a good laugh out of Pump Man when they first saw him. He looks kind of retarded, but this level is kind of treacherous. You got spikes all over the place, you got bubbles that love to take you for a ride, and if the bubbles are taking you for a ride in an area with spikes, you want to be careful, let's just say that. There are Metals in this stage that don't actually hurt you, instead they shoot these purple sludge balls on you, and what happens if you have the sludge ball on you is you're slippery and you don't stop when you should, you know? And this can be very hazardous when you're jumping from pit to pit or whatever, because if you can't stop, you're gonna fall into the pit and die. So you gotta make sure that when you're jumping with the sludge on you, that you're landing correctly and you're not slipping and sliding all over the place. And the energy tanks are back, as they are in every other Mega Man game. They will refill your health. And that's always swell. I didn't expect to find any in hard mode, but turns out they're still lying around, even in hard mode. This game isn't totally cruel. It still gives you stuff. And these enemies we haven't seen since the original Mega Man. Fuck, I miss these guys. In hard mode, they move incredibly fast. In normal or easy mode, they move a lot slower, trust me. And yeah, we're already at the Robot Master. I don't want to say I'm speedrunning this game, I try not to, but I have been playing this a lot this month. Anyway, Pump Man is kind of annoying. He starts off with a shield that you have to blow through with either your Proto Buster or the Lightning Wool, which will clear it in an instant hit, right? Speaking of which... In hard mode, Pump Man has a boomerang that he throws after he's done hopping around, and Proto Man, I forgot to mention this, Proto Man is so goddamn weak in comparison to Mega Man and Bass. He takes double damage that Mega Man and Bass takes. So as you can see, that boomerang thing will take off half of your fucking health. This is why a lot of people don't like playing as Proto Man, because you can get it fucked up pretty goddamn quickly. He does have a shield that can deflect a lot of attacks, even certain abilities from the Robot Masters. Like that water shield he just shot outwards. The Proto Shield can reflect that and save himself from getting hit. But you know, some people are not skilled enough to use the shield, and they're just trying to get used to the game, and every now and then they're gonna get hit. I always get hit. It's hard for me to not get hit in a Mega Man game. So, you know, Proto Man, he can slide, he can charge the Buster, but be warned, he takes damage like a bitch. He will get his ass raped by enemies really quickly. You could say playing as Proto Man in hard mode is a very big fucking challenge. And yes, it is. By defeating Pump Man, we got Water Shield. And it's basically a shield type weapon. If you remember Junkman from Mega Man 7, it basically has the same effect. It'll go away one by one the more it touches stuff, so yeah. But now folks, we're gonna move on to Solar Man with Bass, the DLC character that if you don't buy him from the marketplace, you don't get to play as. And if you remember my Mega Man and Bass LP, he handles exactly the same. He can shoot in any direction he wants, he can dash. The only difference this time around is that he can't double jump like he could in Mega Man and Bass. I guess they figured double jumping would break him, but He's already pretty broken, if you ask me. He makes the game pretty easy. I don't know, maybe I'm just used to playing as Bass, but I think the way the game is designed, it makes the game so much easier when you're Bass. Anyway, Solar Man is an artificial sunlight research facility robot. He has the ability to create ultra-high temperature artificial sunlight. Since he and his coworkers spend so much time cooped up in the lab, he developed his own solar workout plan, which is slowly gaining recognition. I don't even know what that means. The lava is like spikes, it will kill you in one hit, so stay the fuck away. And these tubes, they just shoot fireballs back and forth between each other, so you gotta take your time, know when to jump, know when not to jump, and you should be okay. Bass dashes the same way Mega Man slides, or Proto Man slides, I should say. Before I go back into that though, look at this mini-boss. Usually you would just shoot the bottom bird with Mega Man or Proto Man and wait for the other guy to get down to shoot him. But if you're Bass, you can shoot up into the sky, right? So, if this guy's high up in the sky, big deal, I can still fucking shoot him. Oh, Bass has such an advantage. I know Bass's Bass Buster is weaker than the Mega and Proto Buster, but it's still kind of broken. There's Trouble, and you can use Trouble to fly around just like you could in Mega Man and Bass. Granted, in Mega Man and Bass you actually had to buy that power-up, but in Mega Man 10 it's unlocked right from the get-go. You can fly whenever the hell you want, and it's kind of broken because if you get hit, you don't get stunned or fall down or anything, you just keep flying around and take the damage, you know? Whereas, like, if you're playing with Rush Jet or Proto Jet, if you get hit, you fall off that fucking jet, and then you fall into whatever pit you're flying over, and that can be a bit hazardous. Bass, if he gets hit while in the Trouble adapter, he's fine. Well, another reason Bass has a very easy time playing this game, honestly. You think Bass would be the one with the half damage and not Proto Man, but I guess not. But the Trouble boost is fucking awesome, I can't dispute that. But like I said before, as I was going into before, his Bass Buster is weaker than the Mega Buster and Proto Buster, but the invulnerability state of the enemies is so quick that I honestly think it doesn't even matter, you know? His Bass Buster may be weaker than the other Busters, but it still packs a hell of a punch in a quick amount of time, so it's kind of still broken in my opinion. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Bass is cheap to play as, you still need skill to play as Bass. I'm still about to die. I'm just saying it's a little bit easier with Bass. And that's all I play as anymore. Ever since I downloaded Bass, I'll only play as Bass when I play Mega Man 10. He's so fun to play, I can't help it. I love Bass, he's so fun to play. Anyway, now we're at Solar Man, weak against Pump Man's weapon, as you could have guessed. He's actually kind of hard to fight without getting hit. He loves to hop all over the place while shooting fire downwards, and when the fire touches the ground, it splits into other fireballs that go left and right, so you gotta watch the fuck out for that. And if you go way too close to Solar Man, he tends to tilt his head in your direction, and then the solar fire on top of his head will damage you. So you can't get too close to him, and you gotta hit him, but you can't stay on the ground too much, and you gotta watch where he's jumping and where the fire's falling, and it can be a little bit hectic, unless you have Water Shield, in which case you rape him and destroy him like it's nobody's business. But I digress. By defeating Solar Man, we get Solar Blaze, and basically you shoot a fireball that splits into two other fireballs going left and right. It's okay, I like it I guess, but it's not amazing. Anyway folks, we're going to be taking on Chill Man in part 3. See you then.